Okay, today we are playing a game on VoD. We are in the Bronze SR range, and we will be playing Genji the entire way through. And because we are in the Bronze SR range, we are not going to worry about our team comp that much, because it doesn't really matter in Bronze beyond, do you have a tank, do you have a healer? We've got both of those things, so we're covered. So let's just start the game. So we've got to defend VoD first, which is easier than it's hacking it, but as we can see, a lot of our teammates are way too far up. Roadhog did die, so that's nice, but Reaper, way too far up, got punched in the face. Hanzo, too far up, also got punched in the face, and so's Lucio. Lucio's also dead now. So, we just lost half our team right at the start of the fight, and, you know, what can you do about that one, you know? Sometimes life's difficult like that, sometimes your team goes off and does stupid shit. So we shouldn't be doing what we're doing right now, because we're electing to pick a fight with somebody who can just kill us if he hooks us. And this is going to accomplish nothing. Half our team is dead right now, so all we're going to get out of this, if anything, is some ult charge from hitting the Roadhog. We could be like 20 feet further back and still be doing that with way less risk of dying. So, don't go, like, Genji's got pretty decent range, right? And half our team's dead. It's very easy for us to die right now. We don't want to make it easier to die. So, we've got Reinhardt's shield, like, right behind us, but we've chosen to walk through Reinhardt's shield instead to start shooting at these people, or throwing shurikens at these people. We're not really shooting them, are we? So, we could just be standing behind Reinhardt's barrier and be way safer, because now we're almost dead, because we took a big chunk of damage. Again, we were never likely to kill anybody right there. All we were really ever going to do was build up some ult charge. So we might as well be doing that behind Reinhardt's barrier, where we can't get shot in return, because we took a huge chunk of damage from being, like, way further up than we needed to be still. And now we should just be leaving. We've lost this objective. Like, again, all we're going to get out of this is some ult charge, and then we're going to die. And we did indeed die, so we should have just left. We could have, like, thrown some shurikens at them as we were leaving, you know? We got a pretty decent chunk of ult charge, because Roadhog shot himself off of our deflect, so there's that, you know, silver linings and all that, but we really should have just left. So look, ooh, there's their Genji. So be careful when you dash like that, because if we dash like this, Genji, it's very easy to kill yourself as Genji, right? So if we dash like this, and his team's not in range right now, so it's not super applicable to this moment right now, but be careful when you dash in this aggressively, because if you dash in this aggressively and you can't get a reset, because we're not likely to kill this Genji right now, he's mostly full health, right? So if we dash in, don't get the reset on this guy because he doesn't die, and then his team collapses on us, we're probably gonna die, because then we don't have our dash to get back out again. So, you don't, you know, you don't need to, like, always dash in and get the kill with the dash so you guarantee the reset or something. You know, you can take it too far the opposite way, but, like, be real careful when you dash in that aggressively, and gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them. This Genji is way likely to kill us right now. We've used all our cooldowns. Tracer's coming right now, and, it's not hard for Genji to finish a kill on somebody with the dash, so we should have just, like, been leaving way sooner than that once we saw that basically, like, that Genji is way fucking healthier than us. So, once you're at, like, 50 health, you're in pretty, like 50-ish range. You're pretty in Genji finish-off range. So right here, Tracer's not looking at us, so try and be a little bit more, reserved when using deflect, because if the person isn't looking at you, they are unlikely to turn to you, start shooting, and then actually do anything with that. So try and be, like, a little bit more reserved with using deflect. Most people have, like, an ability that you're looking to deflect. You know, like Genji, not Genji, McCree, he's got flashbang and all that, so usually you got something you're looking to deflect. So this is, you know, alright, so it's a little risky to just dash in right now, because we've got Discord Orb on us right now, and we are dashing straight into the enemy team. But we are in Bronze, so we can expect them to not be super good aims at the same time, but if you've got Discord on you, strongly consider waiting until Discord is off of you before you go in with Dragon Strike, because it'd be real fucking easy to die suddenly if the enemy team responds appropriately. So right here, we dash up to the Mercy right here. We're actually not that far away from the Mercy. Fun fact, Genji is slightly faster than other heroes by 10%, and when you're moving backwards, you're only moving at 90% speed. So if Mercy's backpedaling away from us right here, we can just gain on her by running up to her. And the reason I say this is if we dash up to Mercy, she got GA, so she can just fly away like that right after, and now we don't have our dash, so we can't follow her, right? So if you're trying to kill somebody with Dragon Blade, and the person has a movement ability, you want to be real careful how you dash up to the person, because if you dash up to Mercy, dash up to Moira, then you don't have your dash anymore, and they can just use their movement ability and leave, right? This is why, in an ideal world, right, you can dash up to the person you're going to try and kill, right? So assume we're trying to kill Mercy as Genji, right? And we've got Dragon Blade. So we dash up to Mercy, we draw Dragon Blade, and we start cutting her. Drawing Dragon Blade gives you a reset on the dash. So then, Mercy dashes away from you, you follow her with the reset off of using Dragon Blade, and then you finish her off, and then you ping-pong to the other people off that reset. So, yeah, be careful dashing up to someone if you know it's a hero with a movement ability. We're also way too far up right now, just generally. We saw the enemy spawn right there. We don't really ever want to be fighting outside of the enemy spawn if we can avoid it. And there's a few reasons for that. First off, it's way easier to die. But also think about, like, in terms of what we gain from killing somebody right out here, right? Because in Overwatch, you've got the time it takes you to respawn, but you've also got the time it takes you to reinforce, which is the time it takes you to get back after you die, right? So, at bare minimum, it's 10 seconds, because that's the respawn timer. So if we kill somebody right outside their gate, they spend 10 seconds respawning, 2 seconds out the gate, they're exactly back where they were. So you don't really gain a whole lot by killing somebody right outside of their spawn, because they're gonna reinforce, like, way fast. Because if you're just fighting them outside their spawn, and it only takes them, like, 11 seconds to get back from dying, they've got a huge spawn advantage on you. Because our spawn, if we die, which you're way more likely to do outside of the enemy spawn, it's gonna take us, like, 20-25 seconds to get back, right? So, in terms of what we gain and lose from what we stand to gain and what we stand to lose from killing somebody right outside of their spawn, it's not really worth it. It's not really worth it. It's also just never really a good place to defend right outside their spawn. Now that being said, also, if you're in bronze, your team's gonna go and do stupid shit, right? And the best thing you can do if your team is doing some stupid shit is honestly go do stupid shit with them, unfortunately. Because the alternative, like, imagine we're playing on Dorado, right? And we want to stand up on the high ground overlooking the street, as you usually do on Dorado. But our team decides they want to go and spawn camp, right? They're going to go and stand, like, right at that corner, right? Waiting for him to come out the gate. We can sit there on the high ground next to the bridge and wait. And wait. But our team is off doing stupid shit 5v6, so they're probably going to die doing that. And then, doesn't matter if we're in the right position if our whole team dies. So, unfortunately, if your team's doing stupid shit with you, or if your team's doing stupid shit, the best thing you can do is go do stupid shit with them. Because at least then they're doing stupid shit 6v6 instead of stupid shit 5v6, right? Well, you know, life is difficult like that. So, it is a generally good Genji practice to dash up in the air, draw the Dragon Blade, and then fall down on the people. It's more something you do, like, if you have an Ana on your team, because a large part of that is making sure she nano boosts you, basically. Because if you use a Dragon Blade like that, you can't use the reset off the Dragon Blade aggressively, which is important sometimes, especially depending on who you're trying to kill. So again, we're also just way far up. We're greeting after this Zarya, like, it's no longer very likely we kill Zarya, right? And she just, like, stops shooting us while this is happening as well, unless she'll be left-clicking us, so that's cool. But, like, it's not feasible we kill the Zarya from here. We should just be leaving rather than chasing after her, because we're just not likely to kill her anymore. We could, but she's glowing like a fucking Chernobyl. So she's gonna kill us a lot faster than we're gonna kill her. So we should not have, now we've overextended, we're gonna die. We actually had our dash up right now, so we could have still tried to live from this position, because we could dash out the doorway, try and wall climb to get away over the ramparts, but the pivotal mistake was being in that position to begin with, but we could have tried harder to get out once we were in that position as well. So anyway, things have been, like, honestly going pretty well, all things considered. Just, like, dash to get back faster, because, like, just spawn, dash out the door, because you're not likely to need your dash this far back, and then you'll just reinforce slightly faster, because your dash will almost certainly be off cooldown by the time you actually get back to the front line, and then you'll have gotten back a little bit faster by like a second or two, which sometimes matters, you know, sometimes a second or two is all it takes. So we're trying to get the Reaper. He shouldn't have done that. We managed to get him. Nice. Back it up. Not necessary. That's so nitpicky. I'm not gonna bother. Unnecessary. So don't use dash like this, because this Mercy is almost certainly full health, very unlikely to be damaged, and this dash, now we aren't gonna get the reset, and now we're in the middle of the enemy team with no dash, and we just used deflect, and oh no, oh god, oh shit, oof, oof, oof. Oh, we did it again. Oh, we did it again. Oh no, we went in to try and get the Mercy again. We didn't get the reset. Miraculously, they didn't hit us a single time any of this was happening, once as we were leaving. That's the kind of shit that's gonna get you killed as soon as they have any decent aim at all, so we definitely shouldn't have done that. You gotta be, if you're gonna use your dash aggressively, you've gotta be real careful with how you're using it, because if you use your dash aggressively, you don't have your dash to escape anymore. So if you dash, well, I don't know why he did that. He was really fucking scared, I guess. He's like full health still, whatever. Because if you use your dash aggressively, you can't use it to run away. So you gotta be real careful when you dash aggressively. So, let me back up again. Yeah, so we dash through them right now. Transcendence is happening. We're extremely unlikely to kill anybody right now, and we just dash through the entire enemy team. So they're all just gonna turn to us now and be like, I don't like you very much. And conveniently, they are all still bad, so we get away with it, but we definitely should have died for doing that. Because, you know, we've already talked about, like, not being likely to get kills, and then Transcendence is happening. That's, like, peak unlikely to get a kill. Anyway, everything still went pretty well, all things considered. So, Reinhardt should definitely not be doing what he's doing right now, but he has decided to do it. And now he's dead, and he's extremely staggered, so how nice for us. Someone did just shoot at us from behind. It looked like a shotgun, so I'm guessing it was Reaper. So, we've got Dragon Blade. That's nice. That's good to have. It's a good ultimate. Generally speaking. Yep, Reaper was behind us somewhere. I've just heard the enemy Genji use Dragon Blade. To be honest with you, I forgot they had a Genji. So, that's, yeah, he didn't get a lot done with that one. So we've used Dragon Blade now. We didn't plan it through super well, and now we're kind of fumbling in the middle of them to try and make something happen. So, yeah, so... Like, we want the Mercy. I appreciate that. I understand we want the Mercy. But, you know, similarly to what we said before, you know, if we dash up to someone, we gotta be careful. Because then we've got to be able to follow them again. So, she's not used GA yet. We did just get the reset off the dash, but she's not used GA yet. We're still really close to the Mercy, so we could just walk up behind her and start cutting her, and then wait to see what she does, right? Because she's likely to GA somewhere. Maybe she just goes straight up in the air, but then we can still dash up and follow her then as well. So, rather than use our dash like this, because then she just goes, oh, well, he dashed. I go this way now. So again, we could have just ran up to her, started cutting her, see what she does, then follow her with the dash to get the kill instead. Because now we're like, ah, fuck, ah, shit, well, Zenyatta's here, he'll do, fuck, I was in the middle of the enemy team while this was all happening, so I ended up getting killed as well, fuck. Yeah. You've got to, like, Dragon Blade is, in my opinion, the ultimate that benefits the most from, like, a little bit of forethought into how you're going to use the ultimate. This is also why going up in the air beforehand is usually, can be good as well, because it's mostly like if there's an Ana, but it also lets you, like, look at things as you're falling to assess it, so you're like, I'm gonna fall on that guy right there, start cutting, he's gonna use his movement, but then I'm gonna follow him, finish him off, then I'm gonna go to that person. Sometimes you have to parse things out pretty quickly, but you benefit from just kind of having a plan when you have Dragon Blade, because it's mostly about getting kills and then resets off the dash to chain into more kills. So it benefits from thinking, alright, so I'm gonna dash up to that guy right now, I'm gonna draw my Dragon Blade, it's Mercy, so she's gonna fly away, I'm gonna follow her, I'm gonna cut her. Then Zenyatta's right there, she's probably going to bounce to him, maybe she'll go to that one, either way, I'm going to follow, then I'm going to kill that one, and I'm going to dash to whichever one she didn't fly to after that, and then I'm going to cut them. You know, it benefits from just, like, thinking a little bit ahead with what you're going to do with the Dragon Blade, because then, you know what you're going to do, so it's easier to just sort of, like, execute it if you've got a plan. If you just, like, go in, draw Dragon Blade, and have to look for something to do with it, the Dragon Blade will often end up being meh, rather than, like, I won the team fight by myself, right? Because it is one of those ultimates that, if you execute well, you'll win the team fight if you use it well. So, things are not going well right now. Half our team is dead, so we're not super likely to win this fight, to be honest with you. And, we've survived a lot longer than we should have done. We should have really just been backing up, because half our team's dead right outside the checkpoint. They're gonna capture the checkpoint, like, no problem, really. And it's not such a big deal here, because there's, like, they have to knock down the gate, so they don't really gain so much off of it, but, like, if we do something like that, we commit to fighting over a checkpoint that we've already lost. Like, if it's a 2CP map and we commit to fighting on the first checkpoint when we've lost the first checkpoint, like, we haven't lost it yet, but we're gonna lose the first checkpoint, doing stuff like that is how they then immediately chain that into capturing the second checkpoint a few seconds later. So, because you die, they capture the checkpoint, they rush to the next checkpoint, and then you're still, like, reinforcing, right? And then your team's fighting 5v6, you get snowball, or worse, depending on how many other people might have staggered themselves as well. So we're lurking right now. I'm guessing we were expecting somebody else to come through this way, but they never did. So, Mercy's using Valkyrie right now, makes her very difficult to kill. Moira's using Coalescence. We don't really want to go in right now, because Moira's using Coalescence. Then Hanzo used the dragon, and the entire enemy team sort of scattered, so it mattered a lot less suddenly. Who are we dashing at right here? Yeah, it's a little optimistic because we didn't know how healthy Reaper was right there, and then he decides he's going to teleport, like, right here, so... You know, we deflected at him. We couldn't have known that he was going to drop to the ground and be like, Shadow Step. So, you know, sometimes the enemy does weird stuff. So we've managed to slow them down. We've got Dragon Blade. They've only got 10 seconds left, so by all rights, this should be good enough. Did Reaper just use his ult? Yep, he sure did. He got one whole die out, and then he died. So this was a very, very risky dash. We do have Dragon Blade, so, you know, we can reset it if we really have to, I guess, but, like, we just dashed in at half health, a little bit more than half health, into the entire enemy team, apropos of nothing, so we don't know if anybody in here was low health or not, and we managed to just kind of walk away from it, but, you know, that's a very risky way to use the dash again. We haven't been punished for all of these risky uses of the dash, but we should have been punished for a lot more of them. But we benefit from being in bronze, so the enemy team is not very good at punishing us right now. But we should have been punished for those things. That's what makes it so difficult to learn things in lower SRs, is that, like, you don't even necessarily know that you've made a mistake, because the enemy team doesn't necessarily punish you for it, right? Because if you get punished for a mistake, it's very easy to go, oh, well, obviously I made a mistake, right? Less obvious are the times you made a mistake but didn't get punished for it. And then, you know, so they'll manage to, like, get their way out of bronze, silver, then they'll get to gold, where people sort of know how to punish you for shit. They'll do the shit they were doing previously, and then they're like, well, fuck. I was working before, what happened? You know? It's a difficult thing. So, they've got a lot of shields, which is inconvenient for us as Genji. Not the end of the world, they also have a Bastion. So, it's inconvenient, it's not the end of the world, we just need to find a way to circumnavigate the issue. We're currently working on a way to circumnavigate the issue. Yep, Okay, alright, so, apparently we weren't quite clear on if we could get over that or not. If you're playing somebody that has, like, a unique method of movement, like Genji, Sombra, Hammond, Pharah, if you've got, like, a unique movement method, that's the kind of thing where you'll benefit from just kind of, like, walking around the maps a little bit. Just, like, start a custom game and, like, walk around the map a little bit and be like, can I get here if I do X, Y, Z? And then, you know, you know what your options are in an actual game if you configure that out ahead of time, because it's really beneficial if you know roughly what you want to do already, right? Because if you know what you want to do, then you just have to figure out the steps how to get there. But if you're like, alright, I want to flank them, how do I do that? Let's see, can I get around here? Then suddenly that makes it a lot more difficult to actually get something done. So, like, any kind of flanker, really, like, it benefits from just sort of walking around the maps a little bit in a custom game, just to, like, figure out what you can get away with, and then you know what you can do in an actual game. So right here, we can take a little bit of extra time to line this one up, because Bastion's not looking at us, nobody suspects a fucking thing, because of course they don't. They're not looking around right now, we're in bronze. They're not looking around right now. They don't suspect a thing. So we can take a little bit of extra time right now and line this up with Bastion's core so that we can actually be getting headshot damage on him rather than just, like, hitting him. He did actually manage to kill himself on us, which I haven't seen a Bastion do in, honestly, like, a year. So that's pretty magical, honestly. He didn't fully kill himself, but he did basically kill himself. And unfortunately, also, we killed him a little bit faster than we expected to. So we dashed after we killed him, which is unfortunate also. That's something that gets easier with time more than anything else. Like, because obviously you don't want to do that. Obviously you don't want to dash after you killed the guy. So you kind of just need to get adjusted to, like, how much damage you're going to do to avoid doing that, really. So because we didn't get the dash reset, we're suddenly in the middle of the entire enemy team. Yeah, so... I mean... We got the dash reset, but we didn't get the dash reset, if you feel me, right? We just used the dash a little bit too late, killed him with the shuriken, then dash, and didn't get the reset. So, that's, you know, it was the right idea situation. It was just a mechanical failure, more than anything else. And this is something you should try and do. He shouldn't be doing that. This is something you should try and do whenever, just try and think about this, like, whenever you die. Try and think to yourself, like, alright, so I died. Obviously, I made a mistake somewhere. And then think to yourself, alright, so did I make a bad decision? Or was the decision I made okay, and I just failed to execute it correctly? Because then, if you made the right decision, but you failed it mechanically, you go, alright, so that was the right idea, I just need to be, like, get a little bit more practice mechanically, and I can do that kind of thing. But if you made a bad decision, you know, it's important to identify that, because then you go, alright, so I made a mistake here. Was it a bad decision? Yeah, it was a bad decision. So what was the bad decision? Did I go in too soon? Did I misuse my cooldowns? Blah, 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 blah. And you just try and, like, troubleshoot the issue. So, you know, really easy, just like when you're dead. Just think about it for a second, like, why did I die? What happened there? What went wrong? And just sort of troubleshoot the issue. And then you'll see a more steady improvement that way, because if nothing else, you should hopefully cut down on your number of deaths, which is, in my opinion, the most important stat to track, is your deaths, because having less deaths is just objectively a good thing. You spend more time interacting with the game, so that's a good thing. So here, we don't know how healthy this guy is, so using the dash that early is risky, because now we don't have the dash to follow him again, right? If we just, like, shurikened him a couple times, like, alright, he's like half health now, I'll dash after him to finish him off, rather than just, like, dashing at him right out the gate. who knows how healthy he is, right? And then it's harder for us to chase him if we get him low from that point. Whereas if we get him low, dash after him, hey, finish him off, dash back. Anyway, it didn't really matter. Mercy managed to kill herself. Pretty incredible, all things considered. Everything's going swimmingly, all things considered. We've got Dragon Blade. This is also good. I was a little scary. I was a little scared when we did that, to be honest with you. Everything's fine, though. What was their team? Hold on. We just pushed tab right there. So, this is also something I recommend doing if you're playing a flanker, is you want to look at the enemy team comp and think to yourself, alright, so who am I trying to kill right now, right? Because there are only ever, like, a certain number of people on the enemy team where it's really feasible that you're gonna kill them, right? So we look at the enemy team right now and we think to ourselves, alright, who can I realistically kill? So Mercy, obviously, and she's like priority number 1 because she's the only healer on their team. So if we can kill her, fantastic. We'll probably win the fight because they won't have their healer anymore. But then also, alright, so who else could I feasibly kill? I can probably kill Hanzo, you know. Genji's good at killing the long-range heroes if he can get up on them. Bastion we want to try and kill, but if he's next to Roadhog and Orisa, it's not feasible for us to kill him anymore. And Reaper is pretty unlikely for us to kill him. I mean, we can do it, but, like, Reaper's just very, like, sturdy hero, especially after the lifesteal buffs he got recently. So, we look at the enemy team and we think to ourselves, alright, so I want to kill Mercy, and I want to kill Hanzo. Those are the easiest people for me to try and kill on the enemy team. If I can spot an opportunity to kill Bastion, great, that's also on the list, but he's probably going to be next to people who can help keep him alive. So I want to focus my efforts on getting to Mercy and Hanzo, because they're the ones I can most realistically kill. So, if you're playing a flanker, I recommend just, like, looking at the enemy team and being like, alright, so who are my targets? Because if you know who your targets are, you've got something to work towards, right? You've got an idea in your mind, you figured out, alright, so this is what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna try and get to X. How do I get to X? Well, I'll do Y. Did Y work? No, I'll try Z instead. So right here, if we right-click Mercy, she doesn't get this res off, because that's the benefit of the right-click, is if you're right next to somebody and you right-click them, that does a lot more burst damage than the left-click does, because he throws all 3 shurikens at the same time, whereas left-click, he throws them one by one. So if you're right on top of somebody, you right-click, that's going to do a lot more burst damage, so you can go, like, right-click dash melee, and that's basically someone's full health bar, right? It's not actually, but it's a lot of their health. So, like, if you spot somebody's low, you can, like, dash up to them, turn, right-click melee, and then you probably finish the guy up. If he was like half health or just a little bit over, that'll have finished the guy off, and you did a lot of burst damage to him, because you did the dash, you did the right click, and you did the melee if he was still alive after the right click. So that's just a lot of burst damage. And if you can do burst damage to somebody to finish them off, that's better, because, like, if you right click the guy and that kills them, then that's great. There's not a lot he could have done about that. But if you left-click him, then, like, Bridget could throw an armor pack on him. Zarya could bubble him in time. You know, it gives them a little bit of extra time to survive that they wouldn't if you right-clicked them. That's why if you're also playing someone like Winston, you want to try and punch to finish somebody off, because tasing them to death takes longer than punching them. So if you just punch them when they're in range, there's less chance that they're going to get healed, somebody's going to bubble them, something like that. Genji, same principle. If you can right-click somebody, that'll just kill them faster. If you can get all the shurikens on them, that'll kill them faster than if you left-click them. So right here, talking about deflecting at people when they're not looking at you. She's not looking at us. Moreover, she's Mercy, and she's already taken some damage. So it's more productive use of our time to just be right-clicking into her back right now, because then if we can get, like, a decent right-click in, we can go melee, dash, she's dead. Whereas deflecting, like, she has to turn around and, like, shoot us a bunch of times. So, we could have just killed her faster if we were doing what we were doing right there sooner. You know, there was some aim better in there as well, but, like, oh yeah, feels good. There was some aim better in there, but, you know, we could have just killed her faster if we didn't spend time deflecting. So we've got Dragon Blade right now, but the only people right in front of us are tanks, who are not usually number 1 priorities in terms of Dragon Blade, because they're pretty hard to kill. If you're Dragon Blading a Roadhog, that's going to take you a lot of cuts to get that pork off that boy, you know? So Dragon's just gone right across them. So we do have to be careful right now. Like, just bear in mind where we're standing. Because right now, the enemy team's going to be reinforcing. They're coming back to the point right now. They're going to be coming from over there. So we've got to be real careful if we're standing over here. Because somebody might just come up beside us right now and, like, shoot us in the back. So we gotta be careful. We gotta try and like keep an eye on the street if we're gonna be standing over here, so we're prepared for anything bad happening, like coming up at us. So now, team started to regroup. We've dashed in. We use Dragon Blade. It takes us a while to kill this Roadhog, but he's the only one left alive. I'm mostly fine with that. Like we killed them all. We got the checkpoint there. All great. You know, it's fine. It's whatever. I could be more nitpicky, but I've been pretty nitpicky already. We won't be more nitpicky. It's fine. We're what? Like almost 30 minutes into the video? Alright, we've been nitpicky enough for now. So Hanzo, didn't manage to kill himself on us. How healthy was he when we dashed? Do we know yet? No, so again, we don't know how healthy he is, so using the dash is a little bit risky, because if he isn't as low as we think he is, he might suddenly just lunge away from us and get away. Whereas if we find out first, we can use it to chase him down afterwards. So here we dash up to Mercy. She's using Valkyrie. Highly unlikely to be within killing range, and we're half health right now. We do dash over towards the health kit as well, but I suspect that might have just been... it's incidentally in the same way we went for the Mercy right there. I don't know if that's the case, but I suspect. So we could have just dashed back to our team to make sure we get to safety. And she's using Valkyrie right now. If we had Dragon Blade right now, I'd be more okay with this, because then we could just, like, dash up to her Dragon Blade, cut her, dash after her, cut her, kill her. But because we're not using Dragon Blade right now, we're extremely unlikely to kill Mercy right here after this dash. It can happen, right? It could, if we got, like, a good right-click into her head or something, but not super realistic. So then we just end up using our dash, and we don't get the reset off of it. We dashed into the enemy team, very risky. Not to sound like a broken record or anything, but, you know, if we keep doing it, I'm going to keep pointing out that we did it. That's kind of the whole point, isn't it? So, most of our team's dead right now. We shouldn't be trying to do this, because even if we kill this guy right now, it's going to amount to nothing, because our team isn't here to capitalize on the pick we would have gotten anyway, because they're regrouping right now. So we should have just left, because even if we killed the Reaper, which, you know, we could have done. I wouldn't say it was super likely again, but we could have done. But even if we did, it wouldn't have meant anything, really, because our team wasn't there to take advantage of what we did. So now we have Dragon Blade. Half our team's dead again. Please don't use Dragon Blade. Okay, please. Please don't. Okay, okay. I've seen so many people do it. I've seen so many Genjis go in for the 1v6 Dragon Blade. So our team is... now Moira's using Coalescence, so we'll say okay on this one. We'll say okay on this one. So here, we've mostly done it, right? We've mostly done it this time. We've dashed right up to him, we've drawn the Dragon Blade. Great. Oh, then we dash right here. So... you'll see Genji's doing this in, like, highlight reels. You'll see him, like, dash through the person and kill him. That's because they know the Mercy is low enough that the dash plus the turnaround cut will kill her. Like, right here, we don't know if that's the case. We also rotate a little bit slowly to actually get the cut on her, but she was full health. So, like, you'll see Genji's do this. Like, especially if they're nano-boosted as well, the dash and the cut's enough to kill a person. So, that's fair enough. If we knew the Mercy was, like, half health right now, or like a third health is good enough, actually. Or 2/3 health, rather, is good enough right now. Then, alright, that's fine. Dash cut, dash 180 cut, that'll finish her off. Alright, fair enough. You know, you'll see Genji's doing that. But we're not in that kind of situation right now. So we're in the situation where it's better to just dash up, draw Dragon Blade, cut, and then follow her. Because she's probably still pretty healthy right now. And she was. So now we can't follow after her, we have to, like, run after her instead of following, instead of dashing after her, which is just less impressive overall. She still died in the end, we still won the team fight, we're gonna win the game. Hooray, fantastic, we won the game. We see play the game? We're not gonna see play the game, I don't think. No, we're gonna see, I think we'll see who got it, at least, if nothing else. It was probably Reaper. That was Roadhog. Wow, that's quite surprising, actually. We'll never know why. We'll never know why. Alright, YouTube, what you up to today? This actually looks almost entirely correct for once. I don't know who this is, but I watched an Anthem review, so that's fair enough. This is exclusively people I follow. Wow! Except for that one, right there. Good job, YouTube algorithm. You actually were mostly correct there for once. So do I have an overarching thing? Mostly like the Dragon Blade stuff that we covered, I feel like roughly 25,000 times. And you know, you probably think I sound like a broken record, but like, it's something that's really important for Genji. Like, Dragon Blade is a very big aspect of Genji, so it's important to stress it. As well as the being careful with how we use our dash, because that was also another big thing. And, you know, I repeated it about 1,000 times, but hey, you know. It's something that's really important to stress, because it's something that's very pivotal to Genji, you know, and survivability in general, right? When all heroes are this way, you have to be really careful how you use your resources, because it's true of anybody, if you're playing like Tracer, and you use recall aggressively, which you can do, because you can go after somebody, like, recall on the other side of them to try and finish them off, right? You know, like, disorientate the person, you can do that. But you've got to be really careful when you do that, because recall is Tracer's get-out-of-jail-free button. So if you use recall aggressively, you need to be really sure why you're doing that, because if you just kind of do it for whatever reason, you're suddenly 1,000 times more likely to die, and that's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid dying as much as possible. Like Winston. Very common, you'll see a Winston player put their bubble down, just like in the choke point or something, and then they'll decide they're going to jump into the enemy team without their bubble, and then that just makes them so much more likely to die, because then they just jump into 6 people, they don't have their bubble anymore, so the whole team just turns and goes, what's this fucking scientist doing in the middle of us? And then they punch him to death, right? And if they had his bubble, hey, you could actually, like, use the bubble to, like, block some damage, and then he'd have time to get his jump reset and go back out again. So it's something that's important for everybody in general, but you know, we've been playing Genji, so we were talking about the Genji example specifically. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. If for some reason you enjoyed the video and managed to make it all this way through, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.